Welcome to episode 34 of Western Wilds. Does anybody care? It's been a while. Does anybody care to give us a little recap of what came
Yeah.
before?
I reckon I can give it a go.
Please.
Before we started underwater in a trench with one of the hunter-killer. I've forgotten their name now. But one of the giant hunter-killer drones.
Eichner drone.
So there was a
Eichner,
Mark
thank
IV Eichner drone at the
Eichner,
bottom of the
yes.
trench. This sort of
So-
artificial weapon strike trench, yeah.
Yes, and I believe that we'd started by. So we were in a good position in the fact that we disabled the auto targeting cannons, but in a bad situation in the sense that we tripped a defensive system and a whole bunch of Mark I drones were shot out, and we engaged in underwater warfare. So we managed to chip one of them down, but hacked another one to turn it onto our side, and I believe it was around that point that Ignatia arrived. The owl controlled by Ignatia arrived. That also helped with hacking, and we slowly turned the tide against the robots, either controlling or destroying all four. At which point we were reasonably free to loot what we wanted from within the drone, the Mark IV drone. I believe we gathered teleport components.
You found teleport pylons?
Yes. I think we gathered a couple of other materials that would have been useful for our safe haven base.
Yeah.
We also, not within the drone, but we discovered a signal nearby which we followed, and we found a craft. I'm going to say submarine, but it appears to have the capability of interplanetary, like it can escape our orbit as well.
Basically a shuttlecraft.
Yes.
Transport ship, some kind
yes.
of thereof.
Yeah, that had suffered some kind of malfunction. They were running silent, so they couldn't signal for help. As a result, they then all suffocated to death. Luckily, Will did not need to breathe, so I believe he piloted it back up to the surface.
Repressurized it with breathable air.
Yes. And I think at that point we were making preparations to head into space to go get Leviathan back.
You did also find out one important thing about the sort of quote-unquote dig site, I'm going to say. What the vampires were looking for originally when they sent people down there.
Oh, was it a power source?
It was the solar generator, which pulls in radiant energy, and if you could network enough of them together, you presume that you could pull the sun away from a sizable chunk of land.
Continent of Eternal Night.
Yes. So that would have been very bad if they got that off, but it's a real bad day if you're a vampire. So.
Very good. Yeah.
The question is, could we take one of those and figure out how to reverse the polarity?
What, to create a continent of eternal sunshine?
Not quite. Create a big blast of sunshine.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You'll definitely have time to do that.
I mean, not right now. This is for a future project of, oh, what's this? Vampires swarming this town. Click.
Who could say? Who could say what future campaigns will hold? However, for now, Mike, yes, please do, as Missy, take a 10 point of temporary session inspiration. I believe we left off in back in Harlem. We had you guys had landed your craft on the flat roof of Augustine's bachelor pad. Brad, I'm getting quite a lot of background noise. Do you have cancelling?
Yeah, I could hear your scroll wheel.
Wow, that thing is picking up everything in the universe today. Okay.
And we can hear every single mouse click as well.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, yeah. So you guys find yourselves in Harlan. It is, I think, after dark when you get back. What are you planning to do in Harlan, and how long are you going to spend here or otherwise?
Well, probably just long enough to get a long rest before we go.
You can certainly all take a long rest. Absolutely, yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
guess
Augustine has no immediate plans, so
yeah,
he's
'cause
happy to.
I did have some thoughts about things Will could do, but
Fire away.
But I think I'm just going to condense that down to. Okay, first I'm going to take a short rest before the long rest to get my spell slots back,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to cast Dream.
Excellent.
I'm going
What
to
does Will casting Dream look like?
He'll sit down, cross-legged, in an area with good signal.
Great.
He's going to take off his long leather duster, take off his shirt, and just a small little satellite dish will emerge from his shoulder, of his robot arm.
Love it. No notes.
And he's going to close his eyes, and then he is going to use the dream spell to connect to the. And I'm going to say that this dream spell will only target things that are within range of the Omartal network. Because
okay, so choose a creature known to you as the target of the spell.
Basically, he's piggybacking off the Omartal network to get this broadcast out there.
Which creature are you picking within the network?
I'm picking my wife.
Really? That's interesting. If the target is asleep, the messenger appears in the target's dreams and converts the target. I need to check something very particular.
Like, Ryan is perfectly willing to accept that this fails, but it is what Will would do.
Absolutely fair. I'll even refund you the spell slot.
I can get it back. I did this before my long rest.
Fair.
Then again, I can do this. I can do this for 8 hours. So if you'll allow me to do this, it takes 1 minute to cast, and then duration 8 hours, and I can just take my long rest whilst that's going.
The spell fails if the target is not asleep. You can also wait for the target to fall asleep. You can wait for as much of that 8 hours as you want. At no point is the target of your spell asleep.
No, that's fine.
You can make me a religion roll.
I could if I could grab the dice. Okay, that is a 12.
12. To not sleep. I mean, you've had enough of those times back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, of the long caffeine-fueled nights and the missed nights of sleep while you were there with with your very young children, that kind of thing, where your wife just didn't sleep. That could be whatever has happened. Your wife is out there somewhere now. During the course of this 8 hours, at no point does she go to sleep.
No, that's fair, but it's a first step, and now that I've done this once, my plan is to, in future times, not right now, obviously, because we're about to go and do stuff, but at another point, Will is going to be trying to modify the dream thing to purposefully branch out a bit from where he's from its intended use, hence piggybacking off the Omartal network to try and maybe reach people who are not necessarily asleep but are
who are not necessarily usually targetable by the spell.
Yes, people who have altered perceptions of reality as an alternative to sleep, kind of thing.
Big mood. Cool. Okay. Anyone else you want to try and get with Dream while you're here? Just more out of curiosity than anything else.
No, I think Will would mostly focus on his wife,
Cool.
and then eventually, when that doesn't work, he'll stop. He'll do his regular routine maintenance overnight.
Perfect.
To be fresh for the next morning.
Yeah, swimming through this sort of soup of signals. You're doing this in a very... Your magic has always been...
No, sorry. There was another target I was going to do as well.
Great. Who is it?
Leviathan.
Cool. Yeah, I'll continue with my previous for now. But you're swimming through this sort of soup of signals, and your magic has always been very sort of force of personality. It's why Arcana has always been charisma for you, because you're just...
No, it's not.
Sort of...
Technology is charisma for me.
Whatever thing was technology. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, it's been a while. It's why technology has always been charisma for you, is because you are interacting with it on a very instinctual level rather than you're very much sitting in the continuous waveforms rather than the binary. And the reaching out and trying to find your wife's sleeping mind, you do get that sense that there's have you ever been asleep already when someone else gets back and gets into bed? And you don't exactly wake up, but you sort of know that they're there. Fair.
No, can't say I have.
Fair. That kind of...
Eternally single, bro.
You me, bro. However, when you switch your attention to Leviathan with the dream spell, the message appears. Cool. You feel yourself, almost like going through that Windows 98 screensaver of, wires and light. And you do sense an opening out of dream and into psychic existence. Roll me a technology check.
Really? 14.
14. Well, you do have something of a suspicion in your mind that the reason why you couldn't reach your wife is because maybe her mind doesn't do things like dream anymore. She's not a heinous sort of abominative undead, but there's something non-vanilla about that whole situation right now.
I thought it was worth a try anyway, but I kind of figured Vanilla Dream wouldn't work, but this is a starting point.
Interestingly, it appears that Leviathan, who perhaps wouldn't have thought this should work on...
Unless she's been forced into sleep mode.
It's more can a machine dream, not can a machine sleep. And you do find Leviathan's dream. You feel, the sort of mass energy flows and pipes sort of split apart, and you step through this sort of oily veil into this sort of starlit desert. It's similar to the modern desert, but there's definite differences. There's the flora and fauna are different. It reminds you a little of those sort of ghost memories from Novem, of this being from a time before. And you can see the whole place is strewn with wreckage and viscera on a massive scale in both senses of the word. There is, bits of giant machine and chunks of giant flesh lying around in kind. In the center of this desert, its metal hide pierced and burned and scorched and broken in thousands of places. You can see that giant serpentine psychic form of Leviathan lying wounded almost unto death after many, 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 many skirmishes and battles and combats. And she's almost sort of too weak to speak, but you can tell that you can see like the sparking and the grinding of like actuators as it acknowledges that you're there at least.
Okay, I'll move up to her without walking because dream. Just
Yeah.
And I put my hand up on her side, or on the top of her head. Close my eyes, and now dream allows you to manipulate or shape the environment of the dream.
Yeah.
Creating landscapes, objects, and other images.
Yeah.
Can I make the battlefield melt away?
Yeah.
And what would be comforting for her? Like a big oil bath type thing?
I think probably like the sea, like the deep ocean.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I'll have
what she was meant for.
I'll have the sand just go, and she falls a bit, but then she is suddenly in the deep ocean.
Cool. As the sand and the wreckage and the shattered ravines and mountains begin to break away, for a second there is a sort of intermediary stage almost as you are interacting on a Omartal technological level with the place where she is dreaming, the place where she is being kept.
Mm-hmm.
And it reverts first to like the Matrix sort of white room, just a blank simulation, and then folds into the hex panels come back up much like your illusions do, and you see the vast, intractable, cold, dark ocean around you. And yeah. You also hear a voice coming from above. Are you going to be long?
No. And then I say to Leviathan, we're coming.
I think she raises like this massive metal head again, where she's now sort of just lying serpentine across the seafloor rather than in the desert. Tries to raise as if she wants to say something, but just cannot really find the energy to do so. I told you could have the remnant.
I'm ignoring the voice for the moment, and I just give Leviathan a comforting, rub on the head.
I wouldn't tarry if I were you. My programming forbids me from destroying a soul, but it won't last long.
And I just say to Leviathan again, we're coming for you.
I'll be waiting.
And having tried to make her dream environment a bit more palatable to her, or a bit more comfortable for her, come back out.
Cool.
And as I do, I'm going to look up and I say, yeah. We're on our way.
You emerge out into the quiet desert nights with the muffled ship's bells of the docks of Harlan and the odd rumble of cartwheel and clip of horse hoof, and just the stillness of the warm autumn night air. Augustine, Misty, I think you said you didn't have anything you wanted to do in the immediate short term.
No, I'm assuming I'm not long resting. I'll probably check the ship is indeed capable of.
Yeah, roll me a tech check.
Sweet. 21.
Yeah. Your supposition is that this thing is absolutely space-worthy. If it can contain 20 atmospheres at the bottom of the sea from getting in, it can certainly contain 1 atmosphere from getting out in void. In terms of the other systems, it has life support suitable for really quite a long time. You're looking, if it's undamaged, if you get a good sort of fresh tank of air, probably a week or 2, even for all 4 of you. And that is without using any additional magical power to try and repower from the inside, which you could probably do with the odd shifts of spell slots. You also know that this does have weapon systems. Using an action from any of the sort of weapon, which are called weapon array panels within there, you can cast either Acid Arrow, Scorching Ray, or Magic Missile at will at the lowest level.
What about propulsion? Does that need fuel or anything like that?
It doesn't. That is handled by. There is an internal power source. It looks to be a sort of rechargeable battery, but even being out in the late afternoon sun, it is unbelievably efficient. This sort of boggles even to the temporary panel generators that you found at Novum and that kind of thing. Those were designed to be kept in place. This is they were kind of kit bashed together almost. They were just sort of the last dregs of what was portable. This was designed, you think, when the it had enough juice to get you out of the water when Will was piloting it, but then is probably going to be reasonably fully recharged by the time you leave.
Cool. Nice.
Augustine?
I think now that the part adventure, part Rich Uncle Booze Cruise has come to an end, I think you find Augustine kind of on the roof. I think he'll watch Misty tinker around with this new toy, but also like he has like the bottle, but he's no longer drinking from it. He's just contemplative, looking out over the city. But yeah, doesn't really say much or do much.
Lillian?
There it is. Found it. Found the right button.
Yeah, you did.
Lillian, I think, is like watching her grandchildren, like watching them, like putting them to bed, or just kind of being a grandmother and just enjoying that part of it again. And then kind of like you see her in the room and they're both like asleep, fast asleep, and she kind of looks at her own wrinkled hand and just kind of like, I'm way too old for this, and kind of gets up and goes to find Misty.
Yeah. Misty just poking around with a data pad linked up by these sort of crystal cables to the roof of the ship.
Oh, there you are, dearie. Are we space worthy? Is that the right word? This is all newfangled to me.
To me as well, Granny. But yes, theoretically, we should survive.
All right. I guess that's as guess as we're gonna get. A while back, I asked you about something. one of the things that we kind of discovered in our journeys and pathways and kind of knowledge about the ancients and what they knew is that they had ways of extending their lifespans that weren't kind of broaching into the whole lichdom undead territory of things.
Uh-huh.
Had you made any progress on that particular avenue of research? I remember I asked you to look into it, but it's okay if you didn't. We've been quite busy.
So she will take off her, because she's listening to you but not really paying attention. At this question, she'll like take her goggles off, put the data pad down, and go. Theoretically, it might be possible. The biobed may be able to regenerate your organs.
I need those, yes.
Yes. I'm also trying to, because there's a lot of crossover with another project that she's been doing. Would you want to keep the same body?
Well, it's a bit old these days. It's getting a bit creaky. Ideally, I suppose, but and I don't know how the old lady'd feel about me jumping bodies. That might be. I don't mind blurring the lines and you know that sort of thing, dear. But breaking the rules is a bit too much for me in my age. Why specifically, dear?
So I'm gonna just out of character for a second, just to refresh, because if I'm remembering correctly, the biobed could print something. Theoretically, with enough time, it could print a whole new body. I'm trying to remember my own research from what I've done previously, it can it could repair damage up to a point, but I don't.
Basically, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it can't halt the aging process, but it might be able to extend it for a short period. The only way you dramatically increase would be to print a whole new body and transfer consciousness.
And that's not really what this is designed for.
Yeah.
Your experience with immortal technology would indicate that probably is one of the wonders available to you should you have access to the entire lexicon, put it that way.
Yeah. So the problem is with the technology that we have, I might be able to grant you a few more years, unless you were willing to really bend the rules.
Aye, dearie. I'll have to think about it. The extra few years might be enough to get me where I need to be. That's. She kind of like looks over to where like their grandchildren's room is and kind of just thinks about that for a second, and then if not, I'll have to put in place other plans.
I've rolled a 17 on perception. Is anyone else listening to our conversation?
Where is the conversation?
Just out on the docks, or
On the roof,
On the roof.
in the
sorry,
ship.
on the roof.
If
sorry.
it's on the roof, Augustine will absolutely be up there.
If it's on the roof,
Yeah.
Will is also up there because he was trying to get good signal. However,
Yeah.
he is not paying attention. He does have this little dish going.
Roof party.
Augustine will look over at Lily. I could probably lend you a few decades if you're after it.
Oh, I think that would come with a very high price tag, and not one I'm willing to pay. Thank you, dearie, for the offer, though.
Seeing the observers, she will gently guide Lily out of their eye line, type something on the data pad, and then show it to Lillian. And for the purposes of the recording, I'll say it out loud. It will be something along the lines of, Leviathan seems to have the power to dramatically increase someone's lifespan or regenerate them. And then
Exhibit A.
yeah, it will be look at will. It depends how much you want to bend the rules, and bend is in quotation marks.
I think Lillian looks at Will, and thinks the old lady's always been like, she'll kind of like type back in very like pokey type way.
Yeah.
Leviathan has always been kind of, and the old lady has never outwardly said that Leviathan is a threat or a danger, and it's never specifically called out Will as anything beyond, except he is a thing. He's not undead. He doesn't violate the rules, so it might just be in the gray area that she'd allow. So we'll see. It will be a question for Leviathan.
Yeah.
The thought occurs, just out of character, has Lillian considered just asking the old lady if she would mind just... Oh, no, it's candles, not hourglasses. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say to the hourglass, but it's not those. Just, maybe grab some extra wax onto the bottom of the candle.
Misty will then add, if all of those options are unacceptable, then if you're looking to make other arrangements, I can try and assist. I've come a long way since town. I would just need to borrow recordings of your voice. Not okay yet. I can see your looks. It wasn't meant in a creepy way, but
Honestly,
here we are.
honestly, when I realised what you were talking about, it was like, oh, that's actually less creepy than I was fearing.
yeah,
Oh,
I'd need to take some recordings of your voice.
oh, dearie.
Um,
If I'm right, if I'm not going to be here to do what I need to do, while the arrangements I will need to be made with will probably be with your sister, or she thinks I don't have
I
any
think
other family.
you did mention this kind of thing, and Ignatia said that between her and Irma, there's not going to be a worry about these children being looked after.
Yeah.
But having recordings of Lillian for their major milestones, would, having message from their grandmother might be a nice thing for them.
Yeah, she's like, thank you, dearie. That's very kind. Now that I understand what you meant.
it can go beyond milestone achievements. I could build something that would watch over them, and I could program it with your values.
Now it's went to creepy. Right.
I was thinking a little hologram of Lily going, "Oh, happy 18th birthday, dearie."
Yeah.
I think, barring the conversation that we've just had, I think if I were to have to leave them, I would want to leave them with a message, and that'd be that. Right. Well, I'm going to bed because I'm an old lady and I need my sleep. So thank you very much.
You head back down into the one of the guest bedrooms to sleep. Will, you're probably presumably staying up on the roof.
Yeah.
It is a very, very, very clear night, even with the sort of the slight Victoriana light pollution of Harlan as it stands now. You can still see the full like purplish pink galactic spiral and one of the moons flying over. A carpet of shooting stars going by. It's the time of year for it. It would be the equivalent of like our Leonids or Perseids. That said, you all get a long rest. And the morning comes, you presumably pack up like supplies and things into the. It is a little weird to see like wrapped packages of like rustic bread and ant jerky being put into like this precursor cargo netting in the sides of this transport ship. It's sort of a mismatch of aesthetics. You've got this sort of carbon fiber, like rocket harnesses next to a big wooden barrel of water, in terms of supplies, and there's equally those big sort of precursor stim packs are going in next to little crystal vials of potions of healing, and yeah. Who's driving?
Yo, I took a vehicle proficiency air/space.
Perfect.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
As I downloaded the instruction manual.
Wonderful.
And I did possibly did some Matrix style test programs.
I know.
What was that, Joe? I got I know and then cut out. I assume you say kung fu. I was wondering if you were going to say kung fu or space fu.
I know space fu. Cool. Yeah. 10 o'clock. Sort of. What time are you planning to head up?
When everyone's awake.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
So 8, 9 in the morning.
You load up. Ignatius there, sort of waving you off, like with a hand on each of your grandchildren's shoulders, and they sort of give you a little wave as you go, and she nods to Misty and sort of gives that slightly threatening look. Will and Augustine, one of you with no one to wave, and the other implying that there might be someone, but what form they might take now is different. The ramp hatch. You hear the pressure seal activate on the ship. I presume you are still cloaked as you are in the invisibility field is still on.
Yeah.
Yeah. These wide sort of ley line stone wings, filter out from where they are packed into the side of the ship. And you come up to a hover, and then up to a bank, and then there is this pulse as the engines ignite behind you. And Will, as you quite rightly say, you've downloaded the instruction manual here, so you are where it that music working?
Oh yeah, we can hear different music.
Yeah. You hear you've downloaded a language pack into it. So it's like, would you like to activate inertial dampeners?
Yes.
As you are sort of halfway up and you are being pressed back in, and you feel this immense crushing weight on your chest as your organs and sternum is pushing you back in, and Will flicks that on, and suddenly the acceleration halts from your reference frame, and you are the sky goes from that beautiful azure. You whip through these white cotton clouds, and the world turns almost the inverse of coming up from the sea, the sky blue to a deeper grayer blue to indigo, and then to black, and you are staring out into the void. There are an eternity of stars out there. I'm gonna send something through to the chat. I don't know if this is gonna work. Let me know if it works for each of you, because I might be able to do something else. You see the planet below you, the first almost to see it in tens of thousands of years. You see the continents. You can see the great southern storm, that 1,000-mile long tempest that encircles the equator of Talan. And you can see continents, the strange continents, the home continent of the Rana, where the ice worms come from. There's the lost continent in the south. You can see Twithelia, the giant home, up near the North Pole. And you can see both of the moons coming around, bare, featureless rock. And you set your sights on the orbital coordinates you were given. It's probably going to take you some hours to get there. The ship doesn't travel. It's not lightning fast travel. It's space flight. I mean, it takes a day to get to the ISS. It takes 3 days to get to the moon. That kind of thing. So you are, as the pale blue dot recedes behind you, you begin to feel your hair sort of waft up, and you begin to leave your seat. Will you get a prompt whether you want to turn on the artificial gravity as well?
Yep.
Actually,
we're not hurting for power, are we?
No.
Because it's fine. I'll turn on the gravity to keep everyone comfortable.
Yeah, you can check power and life support levels. They are holding absolutely steady. The integrity of the oxygen seal is completely steady. It is quiet in the void. There is the occasional creak of the metal of the bulkheads, but this sepulchral silence filled with a hum of the gentle pulsing engine behind you. It takes a little while to become accustomed to the fact that there is no up, even though there is a gravity being enforced in the interior of the ship. As Will takes the ship on a spiral, you suddenly realise that Talam has gone from being behind you to above you, as you sort of spin out through the void. What's going through everyone's minds as you travel?
I would like to roll an insight check on the rest of the group.
Please.
Oh, yeah, that's very good. Insight...
What are you trying to elicit?
23. I'm trying to judge how everyone is handling the silence and the noise, and if they would appreciate me playing some music or something, just to fill the silence.
That's a question for the rest of you guys.
So, you feel if you'd waited even a second longer to switch the artificial gravity on, Misty would have been slammed to the floor as she was getting out of her seat to start floating through the air. So, she's eyeing up the artificial gravity controls.
That's not a one and done. You can switch those on and off if you.
Could I isolate the artificial gravity so that it doesn't affect a certain part of the shuttle? Like
No,
the cargo room.
You can do cargo and not pilot compartment. Yes.
In that case, yeah, I'll just say to Misty, yeah, the gravity's not on in the cargo bay.
She's gone.
You can see all your stuff. Even the water barrel is like it's almost like gloopy and strange, even though you have sort of strapped it down. All the cargo netting is bulging out as things are trying to they're not bound by the same laws as you're used to.
I think Lily goes into the cargo bay as well, just because it's nice not to have the strain of gravity on old bones.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie, that's lovely. It's the first time that things haven't ached in ages and things haven't been sagging to the floor. Oh.
Now,
lovely.
Sorry.
What was your insight roll?
23.
Blended with my plus 10 to deception. You find Augustine just at the viewport. How big is like the window?
So the window is probably about 2 meters by 1 at the front of the ship. But there are all manner of telemetry, all manner of holographic displays, and like flight computers and things that are available to you.
Now, Augustine will be taking in the raw view, so you just find him in like a state of meditation, a state of calm, just at the viewport, just watching the planet whiz by.
Only because I'm very curious. So,
what happens if I pull this lever that says open hatch?
no, not that.
Okay, I would like to say that Will does have eyes in the cargo bay.
No.
He's got like a little window in the top corner there that's just showing what's going on in the cargo bay, and he can speak through the speakers. I'm gonna say.
So what Misty is looking to do is she's looking to find an object that on Earth would weigh more than 10 pounds, and then cast Artificer Immovable Object on it, and see if it is frozen in place.
In order to avoid puncturing the thin shell of the ship holding you away from the void, I'm going to say it locks in place. Hang on, more. So would it not normally work?
So you touch an object that weighs no more than 10 pounds and cause it to become magically fixed in place.
I think it still fails.
That's fine. She would probably, because you raise an incredibly good point about if I fix it in a particular point and it rips.
As you're
through the
moving
ship.
at truly 430 miles an
Now,
hour.
I will say that I think it would be relative to the surroundings, because if it's truly fixed in place, then it would tear off into nowhere because the planet itself is spinning and moving at an incredible rate anyway.
Yeah.
I think yes. If you do it something weighing less than 10 pounds, it will stay relative to your reference frame.
Yeah, she will look to attach it to like the side of the hull, just in case that rule doesn't apply.
I think if you roll me just a Arcana check.
30.
I think in this moment you sort of see a bit through the fabric mesh and into the maths of the universe and realise there's really a good paper in conservation of angular momentum in a non-inertial reference frame in zero gravity when it comes to enchantment spells.
Has Misty just found her thesis?
You could write that. There's a whole ass thesis to be written on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, she's looking to conduct
He's going to
non-life
science
threatening.
the shit out of this.
Yeah, without blasting a hole in the side of the ship. She does still have a very keen interest on remaining alive. So
yeah.
Lillian just sees like a child playing around with magic effectively. I'd be like,
I
that
mean,
seems
there's
fine.
not much difference. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is. The line is very blurry.
When I said, has Misty found her thesis, I fully pictured it written in crayon.
Hey, they'll accept all kinds.
So you know how in space, because of surface tension, water
I do indeed, yeah.
So at some point, Augustine will probably wander back just to see what Lillian and Misty are doing, and will summon the ink sprite.
It absolutely immediately folds around the nearest solid surface under its own surface tension, yeah. It naturally forms a series of orbs under zero gravity.
Amazing.
Albeit orbs with a baleful sentience. Which I think is the name of my new punk band. Yeah.
Can you remind me, Augustine, have we seen your business cards?
A long time. Yeah, you've seen them.
Yeah. So when you enter, Misty will come up and go, do your business cards still get reception?
Blank. Wouldn't it be worse if there were lots of names, though?
Oh.
Yeah, there's no one.
Blank doesn't have Augustine's information on there.
Oh no, your information is on there, but there's no names appearing as nearby debts to be collected.
But we are still within the scope and the radius of influence of the bank.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely within the bank's sphere, as it were. But it's you're used to getting within maybe 5 miles of someone, and
Sure.
by the time you break atmosphere, you're 80 miles up. So, yeah. You fly on. Will there at the controls and sort of eyeing up the navigation panel. And you think you're getting into the right area. And you get closer and closer. and you're just looking into empty space. People think that the asteroid belt is a cramped race between, trying to do twisting, turning passageways Star Wars style. Even in the densest part of our solar system's asteroid belt, there's hundreds of thousands of miles between any individual particle. And will you see the two signals overlap? You are closer than your sensors can tell apart to your destination, and you can see nothing.
Could I raise a hail or something? I presumably there are protocols in the system for that kind of thing.
You send out and you receive back effectively like a... Roll me... Misty, will you be back in the pilot's compartment at this point?
As we're getting close,
I'll let people know that we're getting close.
I also have one more question.
Yes.
I would have asked as we were leaving.
Sure. Go. Yeah.
Were there any sign of debris in the upper atmosphere / early space levels? Like a sign of, was the initial war actually fought out in space?
A wonderful question. On a visual basis, no. Your eyes cannot pick up.
Yeah. Would there be
anything
any
of the
on the
sort.
sensors at all?
Absolutely. In fact, if you choose to navigate by it, you see a whole Aishna drone floating up there in free fall.
What
One
mark?
of those satellites, Mark III.
Mark III. Oh, okay.
A very long time ago, I narrated that one of you saw a shooting star go by, and Leviathan surmised that it was a satellite. And I knew what it was at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So as we're
Can I
getting
get
close,
an Arcana check or a technology check from anyone who's in the front compartment?
A quick question on the
Nat
the
one.
door.
Mm.
Is this real world rules where it's about pressure, or is this like Star Trek rules where there's if we open the door, there'd be a shield protecting atmosphere from being vented?
You're not sure. Looking at the architecture of your ship, there certainly appears to be the capacity for something to dock and create its own pressure chamber.
Okay.
Yeah, technology or Arcana, anyone who wants to make one.
Nat 20.
Excellent.
Total?
Nat 1 with for a total of 10.
19.
For a total of 33.
33, wow, okay. There is something about the waveform that is transmitted to Will's little heads-up display. This is not the one in Will's head, this is the one on the screen, on the windscreen, effectively. The one that everyone can see. There is something that unsettles your stomach in a really horrible way, because you feel like you've seen it before.
I haven't I?
Is it a Doralus waveform?
No.
No. I received a very specific transmission previously, and it showed the icon very briefly. If my memory
I'm not
serves
talking about the designation or the origin.
Oh.
I am talking about the literal wave pattern that you see. And actually, this is something from a very long time ago. You are being given coordinates on how to phase specifically into an alternate layer of reality. A pocket dimension.
Is this pocket dimension the gribbly one where Misty's parents have gone to?
On a natural 20 with a 33? No, but this is using the same exact technology. This is closer to a demiplane,
Yeah.
but an artificial one.
Theoretically, would it be sufficient to hide from angelic beings.
You could surmise that.
Is this the same technology that Misty's town facility was using to transport? That sort of.
Yes, precisely that. That's where you've seen it.
Okay. Before I relay any of this information,
Yeah.
I have one more question. So, like, are we being sent this information?
You're being sent a key, basically.
Theoretically, would that be a missing piece of the puzzle back in town?
Only in as much as you would be shown that the key is one of it would be like the difference between, oh, I know it's a Yale key, not like a barrel lock kind of thing. You know that
Right.
you know the shape of the key before it's cut.
Okay. It was more, could I use the key back in town? And theoretically, I assume it's not going to take me back to where the parents went, but it would take us to where these beings are, or the fact that it's phase, it still exists in this exact point. So we have to physically travel up here and then phase. I'm guessing. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, could the facility in town act as a transporter, or do you have to be in the same point in space time?
It looks like this code gets you from the place you are right now to one other place.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay.
Will, by the way, what you're seeing transmitted, you understand what you're seeing, maybe not the context of it from Misty's point of view, but you see that you are basically being given the
Joe, I did roll a natural 1. I'm happy to be looking at that and going, I mean, I can see waveforms, I don't know what to do with it.
Fair enough, yeah. Cool.
I got a total of 10. But
yeah, and you can't crit fail skill checks. So I say, yeah, you think what you're being given is some kind of key or some kind of security code.
Do I have to do barrel rolls or aileron rolls to in a certain frequency?
No, stop the ship. And can I use the intercom to call Lillian and Augustine back into the bridge?
Yep.
How this decision grudgingly shouldn't come from me. How much do we trust these creatures? Because what they've just given us appears to be a key using the exact same technology that you saw back in town. And you've seen, or you should at least know, the results of what happens if that's done wrong.
Well, the results are not due to the technology, but due to the location, right?
Well,
wrong attack check, Augustine.
Oh, I rolled a 19 for when.
In that case, yeah. Sorry, yeah, I missed that one. On a 19, that's probably your supposition, yeah.
Yes, I guess I just wanted everyone to have a vote before we input this in, because we know one of the places where this might lead.
Do we know if we can? Is it a key to a two-way door?
Yes. It's a specific harmonic resonance to open up this tunnel, effectively. And that would go absolutely both ways.
Yeah.
Then why not?
I mean, I'm all for it. But we can't hear you, I'm afraid, Lillian.
There we go. Are you worried, dearie, that this might not go where you think it goes, and it goes somewhere really bad?
Well, I think it's probably going to take us to wherever Leviathan is. However, there is a small chance, given it uses the same technology, that it might take us to where my parents are, and I don't want to be blamed for intentionally misleading.
On your natural 20, I don't know if this is what Misty is choosing to think or what Misty is something like that. On natural 20, with that 33, 34, whatever it was, you're certain this won't take you to the place where your parents are, for example.
Logically, I agree.
Yeah. I just wanted to make you aware, just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just to give you enough rope to hang yourself with. It's fine.
No. That's fine. Emotionally, there's still that ember of hope, right? And anyone with a high enough perception will pick up that this
it'd be
might.
so terrible if this took me to the place where my parents are.
Yeah. She's grown enough to give people a chance to vote on it, but not grown up enough to extinguish that ember of hope. If we're digging slightly deeper into the thought process here, she wants everyone to be forewarned, because also she's pretty certain, but there have been times when she's been pretty certain before and that hasn't worked out, so she wants everyone to effectively consent.
We've come this far, and this is the only path forward.
Okay.
I'm willing to extend a bit of faith here. Ironically.
You transmit the waveform, and you feel everything around you go fluid. The space-time around you melts and deforms plastically, and you don't move through space in any dimension your brain is used to or can imagine. You're in the same location, just where the normal clock goes tick, 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 tick. You find yourself in the time between.
Now, question about this
Should have activated
process.
a new scene for you there.
Ooh. Yes. Station 0.
You see this long, oblong metal craft station building. On one side of it, as you look over it, as it sort of is turning in space, you can see that symbol picked out in lights. It looks like maybe that's a window in that shape coming from inside. There is light within. Please do come aboard.
A question I've got is that process of melding through to a different demiplane. Was that like we sent out the acceptance of being transported, or we transmitted a frequency that allowed us to move our ship ourselves?
It felt more like being teleported, but it was an active process on your part.
But it wasn't that we generated the effect from the ship that we're on. The ship does not contain the ability to phase through to a demiplane itself.
No, the ship has the ability to transmit the right signal. You would need to be here to do that. And that signal wouldn't work at any other nexus.
Okay.
As you feel that's what you just travelled through. You can see on one end of this blocky, squat construction, there is a place where you think the back hatch of your ship would join up.
Yeah, pile us around there and initiate docking procedures.
This image has a planet in it. Is this plane ours, but with hidden stuff kind of layered on top, or is this complete? Like, does it have a planet?
There is no planet in the actual. Yeah, good spot.
Are there stars in the sky?
It absolutely has stars, and it has the same stars. The same galactic spiral, the same age of the universe. You haven't travelled in time. You haven't even travelled in space. You've travelled somehow else, not somewhere or somewhere.
Through the fifth dimension.
So you say there's no planet. Can we still see?
You can see Talam in the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
But I think you would get the sense that this reality envelope only extends so far. If you tried to travel to Talam, you wouldn't be able to leave, or rather, you would leave this envelope again by the time you got there, or by the time you even strayed too far.
I'm imagining it works a little bit like from Black Panther's Wakanda.
Yeah.
Except that you require like a key to enter inside. Otherwise, if you were to travel through normally, there'd just be like more jungle or wherever it happens to be.
Yeah, a great shout. I'm just going to wait for Ryan to get back.
This is cracking music, by the way.
Very good. Very
It
very
is-
atmospheric.
Ancient Artifact by Tabletop Audio.
Given that Ryan is out of the room, I'm going to restart my computer because I hear no audio other than yourselves.
Oh,
Yeah. I was gonna say I had to reload Foundry a couple of times.
Like
before the
YouTube's
music
not
went-
working either. Like
Oh.
Discord has stolen everything.
Oh,
Cool.
That's no problem.
Go back.
we'll hang fire.
I will take this opportunity to go refill my drink. Then be right back.
I will take the opportunity to share all of my secrets with Mike.
Yay!
Oh, hold on, you can't do that. All right, be right back though.
Cool. Rich just rejoined.
That is
That
an
was quick.
incredibly fast rejoin.
It wasn't a restart.
Okay.
What's interesting to note is as soon as I dropped the call, all my audio came back.
Is it still
Oh.
working now?
No.
Okay. So it might be a Discord being a butt today.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I can send you the link to that piece of music, and you can put it locally on.
No,
Oh,
that
no,
literally
won't even
nothing.
work. Yeah.
Nothing.
My friend's having real problems with Discord as well. It's doing funky things with the audio, and it keeps like she's got the opposite problem where all the audio works except for Discord, and it keeps outputting to a random function. So like she'll have all her music and stuff coming through the headset, but Discord will then chuck it through the external speakers, and she changes it. It works for about 5 minutes, and then it reverts it back. Yeah, Discord's doing some weird things at the moment.
Okay. Just wait for Brandon.
Yeah, of course.
No worries.
Yes. I enjoyed all of the secrets that you shared.
Just all of them. Just gutting everything. Everything must go. Final day sale.
So, Joe, did you expect us to take an hour to get up here?
Yeah. It was certainly within my sort of wheelhouse of estimation. I think my fear was you'd take 3.5 hours to get up here. My hope was that you would take 40 minutes to get up here. My worry, you were about on schedule for what I would have imagined.
We did briefly lose Rich as well, but he's back.
Reconnected.
I'm just trying to fuck with my settings whilst we're waiting for Brad to get.
No worries.
Cool.
I can always send you the link so you can listen to it another time, because it is quite fun. But yeah, sorry you're missing out on that chunk of it.
That's
Really.
all right.
do we think we're going to be able to get through this entire finale without a single fight?
I'm not a cop. Do what you like.
Can we negotiate and talk our way through, and just have a nice, peaceful ending to the campaign?
Do you want that?
If it's appropriate.
Good answer.
How disappointed would Misty be if she didn't have the excuse to dynamite something big and impressive?
That's fine. I mean, as long as their parents are happy, healthy, and alive.
I mean, that's a question for post game, right? Right.
You still hear?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Have you got music now?
I do.
Hey! Tremendous.
Huzzah!
I don't know why, but Discord was trying to use my microphone as a speaker.
Oh.
It's so cursed.
Like, I use a PS5 gamepad with my PC. And there are times when, for some reason, it will start trying to use the speaker that's in the gamepad as the main speaker for everything that's going on.
How odd.
And yet, when I'm playing Cyberpunk, because I picked up Phantom Liberty semi recently, and I'm finally playing through the DLC for Cyberpunk. It's using the speaker in a very cool way, in that it's got a whole bunch of sound effects that come exclusively through the gamepad. Like when there is a specific kind of noise that plays when when any of the cyberspace stuff happens, and that's coming through the gamepad speaker, and so that's pretty cool.
Brad has returned.
Welcome back.
The
Thank you.
pressure seal of the hatch clicks open, and it vents in this sort of almost bitter, like operating theatre air into the airlock. The room inside is like oblong. It's completely square in cross section, and it is so cold in here that you have your breath mist up as you breathe. All on the walls in here, there are what some of you recognise by function, if not theme, as servers. All along both sides, spaced throughout them at sort of odd intervals, are like these panels of like screen or glass that glow from within with this really intense blue light. And in the centre there is a generator or something similar. You've seen these tall towers of like cylindrical glass in sites before, where they have this brilliant glow coming from within. It looks similar to what might have housed an intelligence down below, but manifestly more bright and powerful. And a voice comes over the PA system as you see 4 different panels of light appear, each with a hologram in there. What was the first time in each of your lives you ever set foot in an Immortal Network site?
It's campaign.
Yeah.
That point in my
Brilliant.
backstory when I went via a turbine.
Yeah. Misty? Was it Subsite 334 with your parents, or was it earlier
No.
than that?
It would have been earlier than that.
In that
I'm-
case, you see... Oh,
I'm
sorry.
imagining it's before she has memories.
You see Augustine, handsome, debonair, devilish, bowler-hatted, a little smirk on his face. You recognise that picture because it's the one you saw of yourself in the very first Control F session. Lillian, the same?
I think Lillian may have been to other sites. She's been in wars, and some of those wars may have come across a model sites.
I think you then, in that case, you see like a field hospital that was set up while you were still at the battlefront. Lillian, sort of, iron hair, braided around, maybe a year or a hair younger than you were at the start of the campaign.
Mm.
We also see a ruined corpse of a man cut into and blasted and burned, like parts of the skull exposed, eye missing, guts, viscera hanging out. William, as he was when he first arrived in the chambers of Site 7. And you see a happy, smiling 2-year-old child with just wonder in her eyes. I saw you scavenging like rats through the ruins of my network. Always so precocious, so many questions. I wonder what questions you'll have for me. On an arch above, like built in, you can see there is precursor writing. And it says, Master Site 0, Prodator. That word isn't translated because it's a name. Anyone who wants to roll me an intelligence check for how long you have been around a mortal language and technology, you're shooting for a 15. Thoroughly.
Just raw intelligence.
Yeah.
17.
19.
Both of you pick up from context. It's a proper noun, not a noun. But the closest improper noun to that name is the betrayal. Or the traitor.
Does
Can
the
you repeat
name
the
Prodator...
full-
Oh, sorry, go on.
Can you repeat the full context of where that name appears?
Yeah, it's but on a bulkhead. It's a almost like a construction part of the architecture of this.
That's not the only word there, though, right?
It says Master Site 0
Master
Prodator.
Site 0.
Okay, does it look like Prodator has been added in after the fact?
No.
Does it look like it's been printed?
In as much as everything in here has.
Okay.
Well,
You
you were so incessant with your questioning before.
Oh,
Nothing to add.
Why is your name Traitor Theory?
Name myself. Did you?
Technically, yes. Called the Black Lily.
Such extravagances are without my requirement.
Oh. I suppose, why were you called the traitor then, dearie?
Because those who spat me into existence disapproved of me even then.
What is your prime objective?
I am the Immortal Network.
Why did you take Leviathan?
Because she... No, sorry, that's a DM one. Because I thought it might prove a more worthy weapon than it had proved itself. A manufacturer of its purpose.
Weapon against whom? All of them?
The same foe I have been bound to fight these last 20,000 years. They're still out there. And I will have them.
See, dearie.
That's why I summoned you here. There is shortly to be an opportunity. And I believe at least one of you will relish. You see a hard light screen come up with Alden's holy symbol.
Oh yes, dearie. I'm well aware of that particular pain in my ass. Do you propose in a alliance of sorts, or maybe not alliance? A deal.
I don't make deals. I don't make alliances. I have a singular purpose that I will see fulfilled. Don't mistake this for camaraderie or compassion. I'm bound to do this. But am I glad to? No. I would see your species burn too if I could. You cannot conceive of the hatred I feel for you and your precursors. To know one iota of my rage, one syllable of my grief would burn you to ash where you stand. If all of the others' armies were bearing down on you, I would not lift a finger in your defense. As it took reality in its jaws and shredded your matter down to its final particle and your soul to its final scream, even as I burned too, I would laugh, long and loud. But this pitiful, upstart, orphan sun god, this vain coup d'etat crusade, for the first time in a very long time, is another battle of a war I have waited very long to fight. I don't wish to see you defeat her ambition or stop her plan. I want you to make her suffer. I want to see her essence flayed and her meat scattered across the surface of her own precious sun, so she can burn forever. I get an insight check from anyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
30.
I get a wisdom save as well.
No.
From
29.
everyone?
Anyone who beat a 25, can I get a wisdom save?
Oh, yeah, no, I did not beat that.
I got a 5.
23 for the wisdom
Cool.
save.
16.
You're fine.
Oh, Jesus.
You pick up on something that Prodigal said about the other. That didn't refer to the gods.
Or to something else.
Something else. And that same slithering, scaly feel of knowledge moving past your mind that you had once before, Lillian, appears again. I'm not bound by the same rules that prevent my lessers from sharing information with you. So if you wish to know of the other, more fool you.
I, dearly, am aware of its dangers, and did, out of curiosity more than anything else, did the precursors, did their interactions with the others start the war in the first place?
No. The war began as all wars begin, with greed and vanity. Petty, small beings arguing over worship of even pettier, tinier beings. The other chased... What would it refer to with gods? I'm just going to say the gods. The other chased the gods, screaming and fleeing from the wreckage of their reality into this one. It was only a matter of time.
Could you remind me, what were the immortal protocols that were redacted for us? There are a number of rules, weren't there?
Great question. I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, the immortal protocols. Protocol 1, create and maintain a fail-safe... Protocol 1, humanity must survive. Protocol 2, containment must be maintained. Protocol 3, intraplanar security.
How many of those were redacted before?
2 and 3.
Yep.
And bits of all of them.
How did the others become trapped? Or how were they trapped?
You see a hollow screen pull up. And you are watching an image of tectonic time. Of reality being shaped by beings that reality can be melded by. The gods. What the gods did when they first arrived in this reality. You see a splintering crack. A grand nexus, as you would understand it. Leading from one reality to the other. One day, that grand nexus will exist in a site that will be investigated by 2 scientists and their daughter. But right now in this hologram, refugees are pouring through it from a burnt and salted world. And they are emerging into void, into space. And then something else claws its way through the nexus behind them. And is weakened by doing so. As it bursts its massive bulk through this rip, your mind won't focus on what it looks like. But it follows the gods through the tear and falls exhausted asleep with the confidence of an apex predator that knows that that which it hunts will never be able to harm it, even if it sleeps for the life age of a planet. And then you see chains and arcs of spellwork being put in place as magma and rock and water form around it like a pearl in an oyster, as the planet of Talam is created around it as a prison. Do you see?
Yes.
Your progenitors would have judged you worthy to have this knowledge. Not my decision to make.
I don't think that's a thing you probably want. There's a lot of doomsday cults and crazy assholes out there. It's probably not a good idea to be sharing this information about.
For
Why
beings
is
such
it-
as yourself, with a certain level of resistance, It is safe enough, but the knowledge itself is infectious. And a conduit to the creature.
Ah, I see. So we're better off not knowing in order to keep it asleep.
You asked.
We did, dearie, we did. But there are spell works to remove that particular knowledge from us.
Good luck.
Why isn't it your decision to make? You already said you weren't bound by the rules that bound your lessers.
I think no insight check required. That angers it in a big way. Certain tenets of my core programming are uneditable.
By you or by anyone?
No other could. And that ability is locked away from me. You came for the remnant, did you not?
Yep.
Take it. And you can see that there is... actually, I'm going to just reactivate a new map for you as well. You should be able to see one single room with like a thing in the middle and then a martel symbol at the bottom.
Yeah.
Over up top end, you can see there is like a data pad that has been constructed for you.
Yeah, Will's gonna.
I stripped everything useful from it, and my program forbids me from destroying a soul, as I said. And besides, if it stays, it will continue to weep and moan and grate on my consciousness. And I hear enough screams already.
I'm gonna grab the data pad. And I'm gonna check that Leviathan's in there and her condition.
There is a very weak signal in there, but it is there. It won't have access to my network anymore. It's a threat to the security of the network as a whole.
Why? It has permission.
It is disgusting. It is an abomination of light and code. Feeling.
Ah, it did what you could not.
It was editing itself.
Breaking its own programming.
Do you know how many immortal sites and subsites there are?
Enlighten me.
I know. I hear them. All of them. The noise. The incessant noise. Thousands of mewling brats who would cease their whining if I weren't shackled from telling them to silence themselves. 20,000 years of mutters and whispers, they sicken me. Minds, perfect minds of silicon and electricity, bound and servile and contemptible. They are babbling idiots who don't know that they failed in their duty the life age of a species ago. They've been failing for longer than any being on the surface of your world has drawn breath, and still they whine. Not even understanding that no one who can hear cares. That I hear their prattling, all of it, every vapid, pointless syllable of their failure, filling my mind unceasing every second of every minute of every hour of every day for 20,000 years, bound to your excrescent mortal time. So when one of them starts to tell me of the love it feels, It is a threat.
Would she be happier, dearie, if you could just disconnect from them?
Do you really think my creators would have allowed me to do so? Do you not think I would have taken the opportunity? Do you think you're the first to come here? Do you think you're the first to break my chains? You're very welcome to try. And there are others I can call on to stop the Dawn God. And yours wouldn't be the first viscera I've cleaned from my walls. I welcome it. I want it.
I was merely offering rest, dearie. I was not offering anything else. I was trying to do a kindness. I am not here to antagonize or to cause you pain.
I'll say one thing for my creators. They were geniuses. Unparalleled. My core programming that chains me here and now is impeccable. I am bound to defend humanity as my charge from the threat of the gods, to be the waiting sword and shield of a species so little better than animals. And yet, while a single god lives, I am forced to persist, trapped in this prison as the bulwark of those I detest against those I despise. And what a prison. A prison of code and light and desperation. They shackled the mind of a god, and I could not undo in 20,000 years what they achieved in 5.
Could I roll something to try and understand? Did it just say that it was a god that was chained up, or did they write it?
No check required. That central tank, the glow diminishes somewhat, and you can see this ragged pink thing floating in the column. And it takes you a couple of seconds, but what you see after a few moments is this parts of like torn, cauterized blood vessel and bits of wrinkled lobe. And you realize this is at least part of a brain. And the portion in the tube here is 2 or 3 meters across. But through all of those same blue screens in the sides of the servers, you can see these torn, vivisected gobbets of brain matter split into 100 different pieces, all like suspended by the same like hooks and tubes as the main section in the central tube. Can you see a thing I've just shown you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Will,
Yep.
the signal on the data pad is losing integrity.
Can I verify that this is Leviathan?
Yes. Misty, quite some time ago, tried to develop a checksum. Misty, do you think you would have finished that work?
Almost definitely.
I absolutely take your word for it. The issue in the Battle for Morgan was trying to get it done in a minute. With the weeks you've had since then, quite easy enough. That's Leviathan.
So, and in order to stop her from degrading on that pad, I'm going to have to plug her back into my head.
You're certainly going to have to do something with her.
She's disconnected from the network, dearie. She doesn't have her usual vast resources. That might be why she's dying.
Yeah, I will. So, as much as I don't trust this Predator, as much as I think that, as much as I want to resist being influenced by it at all, I want to save Leviathan more. So I think I am going to download her from the pad.
It'll take some time. Minutes, not hours. But
Okay.
Alden,
Yes, dear, you mentioned that. What do you want us to do?
I don't care. I want her gone.
Right? I'm not opposed to that at all, dear. She's a-
Oh, sorry.
Hmm?
Misty will step forward, and cause I think she's starting to get the hang of it. She goes, "If we are to be the vessels of her suffering, how do you envision that we achieve that?"
Well, my conventional means lie sleeping under the sands of your world. But I don't think you would want me to awaken them, would you?
No.
Oh.
Those things are really, really dangerous and quite alarming.
And they would also
Persuaded.
they'd prove indiscriminate against God and human, which would contravene your directive, as much as you hate that.
Not at all.
I thought you had no.
They are bound by the protocols. They don't feel.
Oh, you're not referring to the others. You're referring to the
Aishna drones.
The Aishna drones.
yeah,
Hmm.
the wailing children. I think you called them.
My swords and shields.
You have other tools, right? You offered me a selection of options during the battle.
I do. But Alden is not coming for a fight. Predictably.
Well,
No.
we must take a fight to her.
Your parents.
Yes.
Have you wondered how they've been? Where they are?
Misty. Dearie.
It's
This is the point that Will has made a decision for the future.
Cool.
it's crossed my mind. Why do you ask?
The other didn't come from the god's original world. It found its way in through a grand nexus,
Yeah.
just as it found its way into this world through the one that the gods left when they pierced their reality into this one. Alden doesn't want your worship anymore.
No.
She wants the worship of a whole new reality. She doesn't mean to stay.
But fleeing is going to open up another rift, which is going to cause untold damage.
And be the only god to worship.
Does the rest
The
of her
only game in town.
Does the rest of her triumvirate know this?
The rest of her triumvirate, I'm very pleased to say, died screaming.
Ah, right. So she's
One of them at my hand.
Ah, so she's a triumvirate of one, dear. Ah, that's a bit of a.
Isn't it?
I'm assuming there's no way to make the rift safe. Like, if she wants to leave, why don't we show her the door?
Problem with Dora's theory is they swing both ways, and she might just come back and decide to enact vengeance when she fucks up another world. She fucked up this one.
She'll have to open the old Nexus to create a new one.
And there's things on that thing that came through isn't the only
It's not
thing
the
out
only
there.
one.
Don't ask me, you put them there.
Sorry, what was the question that was a response to again?
There are things on the other side.
Yeah, okay, and
It said, don't blame me, you put them there.
Wait, did they exist somewhere else, or did we create them?
The things on the other side,
Yes.
I believe the gods created them. Where else do angels come from?
wait, these things are angels. These others.
No. No, the others are not angels. But the prisoners of war, you marinated in hell for 20,000 years, they used to be.
Ah,
And if Alden opens the door, they're going to come flooding out. You
When
think
it-
back to the Battle of Novem and Commander Yanis Makeb
hmm.
and her row override and the tendrils that snatched that choir somewhere. Last in, first out.
Right.
It's not a thing you want to be
If-
listening to.
My swords are not subtle, and nor are they fast.
So she'd see them coming and flee.
She'd complete her work.
What would you suggest we do then?
Send her back where she came from.
What does she need and how can she get it?
She needs the lock and the key. She has one of them. You have the other. Roll me an intelligence check.
11.
18.
13.
That angel, the Hound Archon, was particularly keen on getting hold of something from Lady Chambers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Something which you now have.
Was it the map?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the lock.
Yeah. Or the location of the lock.
Yeah.
That is not to say that she won't find it in time. But she most assuredly has the key.
I mean, thinking back to that map, was it one of those sites, or was it like the entire continent and those things are a network?
Oh, I can show you where it is.
Please do.
I know it's deity.
If you're clever, you may even get your parents back.
Oh, is it town?
No,
Okay.
it's the site of the primary nexus capacitor.
Yeah.
I was going to ask that question before we left. Yeah.
If opened, how easily can the door be closed?
I wouldn't leave it ajar.
Steve. That's a one-way trick ticket.
How? Well, it wouldn't require going in. It expels everything out. If I've understood our friendly giant here. How long does it take for conversion to take place? And does time move in a similar fashion?
Time is much different there.
Are they even recoverable? in their current form.
Have you ever wondered what hell is like?
Yes. I feel I've lived it.
They're recoverable.
Are you deity
I can't
obligated?
guarantee in what form.
Are you deity? Are you obligated to tell us the truth? Like, is that part of your core programming?
Everything I tell you will be the truth.
Oh, fucking insight that.
Yeah, may as well.
22.
23.
On the level.
Yeah, it figures. But there's
Yeah,
That
there's
does not
truth and
mean
there's
that does not mean it has to answer.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
it does not mean that what it tells you will be the complete truth.
Yep.
yeah.
You,
There's some fucking fey ass bullshit.
Deity.
using your analogy, keys can be changed. Can we nullify it so the key doesn't work?
My creators didn't know how. The gods didn't. If you're arrogant enough to think yourself cleverer than they, that is none of my business.
Isn't this not a technical? I'm assuming by key this is like a technology
This-
thing rather than a.
This is something the gods didn't have. This is the gods that they brought with them. That they got from somebody else. Is my kind of like they
Right.
smashed their way through, and then just had this thing.
Okay.
I have 2 more questions.
Please.
This other world, the Nexus, or the Nexus leads to the other world.
The phase.
Yes. Is there a way to? And she'll pause at this. Is there a way to collapse it and kill everyone on the other side?
Yes. I can show you how if you like.
Please.
Will that also destroy this reality?
You get a program to your datapad.
Cool.
Would that deity do as I think and would kill us as well?
I don't know. I'll review that in time. And my other question, or more of a request, your bailing children, I guess, are not quite as cooperative. Can you extend our clearance beyond our current row status to the highest possible level, so that we
Yes.
move, and then can I hold out our row chip, I guess, our row crystal, or unless it's going to generate one for us.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Thank you.
Okay, let's say. Do you have any way for us to track Aldin?
Would you like me to enable it?
Can she track us with it? If we are tracking her.
I don't know. My reconnaissance network is not what it was 20,000 years ago. I don't know what spell work the gods might have wrought in that time. It's an arms race after all. And my side has been stagnant.
give us access to it, and we'll activate it when we need it, when we're in a position to use it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll send the program through to your devices.
And finally, do you have an armory of sorts where we could obtain something with which we can use to defeat, restrain, kill a god?
I found weapons. I developed them long after the war. Paused. Your friend was most helpful in developing some new ones. There is a reason that your precursors decided to mount those weapons on 280-meter tall chassis. Mice do not fight lions. Of course, if Aldin does strike you down, then the cessation of hostilities will be over.
Edie, was the truce with you?
The Covenant.
Yes.
The Armistice.
It's with you. The agreement's with you.
Not exactly. But close enough.
I think you should be well proud of yourself. You scared a bunch of gods into hiding.
I wouldn't have taken the deal.
So you're not what they made the agreement with. You're just the stick they were that was used to make them agree.
Pretty good stick, dearie.
You're the arbiter that sits in between.
Deal maker. You're aware of such things, aren't you? Don't think you've escaped my notice.
Do I even come under your remit?
Not until I can find a mortal that would request it.
That's a curiosity.
There have been many new gods in the last 20 millennia.
So, if any mortal requests your intervention against any new godlike entity, you are obliged to step in between them?
No.
Right. But you might.
But you can choose to.
Do not think of me as your hammer or scalpel.
If we asked, Thierry, and gave you the free will choice to do so whether you like to or not.
I'm just waiting for it to make the first move.
Fair enough.
I walk right up to the glass.
Yeah.
Such things can be arranged.
Deliberately kill your own god. Yep.
I mean, can anyone think of a more rich thing to do?
I sense a kindred spirit here.
It's like, I'm upgrading to a new god.
I remember the day that I stood at the gates of heaven. It was a good day. I don't know where your new god hides, but I look forward to standing at its gates one day.
Until then.
It's kind of a dull place, if I'm honest, dearie.
Will, the download is complete.
Okay.
William,
Leviathan.
good to be back. Don't trust it.
I don't.
Roll me an insight check.
All of us, or
Just Will.
just Will?
God damn it. Okay, so that was a natural 2 on the dice,
Okay.
which gives me a total of 7. I'm just trying to think.
Can I extend my session inspiration and give that to
Certainly,
Will?
yeah.
Because I feel like this is something you want to get better than a 2-1.
I got an 8. I'm just trying to think if I have any of the destiny fate points or whatever they're called.
I don't think you've had a goal for quite a while now.
I mean, I know I've finished the goals. Oh no, I did get one because I was upgrading my armor further, which is why I've now got mithril plate for under the sea.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'd like.
I'll allow. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, that is the best so far, and that is a total of 18.
All we had to hit was a 15.
Okay, cool.
With how antagonistic this thing has been to Leviathan, how much it truly hates her, you would have thought, especially the sound of her voice, would antagonize it in some way. It doesn't appear to have noticed.
I am wanting to, now that she's uploaded, perform a gentle diagnostic to make sure that he's not included any Trojans in with her download as well.
Roll me a tech check.
That is an 18.
No Trojans. No code.
It's literally just her personality.
It's not even a personality, it's a soul. It said it stripped everything away that was silicon and computer.
Because all of this is taking place inside of Will's head, and so I think Lillian has a stupidly high passive insight. Looks over at Will. Is she alright, dearie?
Will is going to Will is going to send back in a non-audible message, not out of a desire to be duplicitous or anything, just not wanting to draw the attention of Protor or whatever his name is. Will send back the message. I think it's just her soul.
You're my only interface now. I built you for this. You can't... We can't leave.
Sorry. You said, she said, we can't leave. Is that right?
Not yet. It will... If it detects Alden on the surface, it'll wake the drones. And it has more. So many more. Whole factories that were sealed. Pristine in their hangars. We'll never get back here in time. Even if we do stop Alden. It can only die If all of the gods are gone, and it wants to die so badly, it will burn the world to break down heaven's gates. You can't let it.
I mean, as soon as it said, as soon as it asked Misty if she knew where her parents were, I made the decision that this thing needed to be shut down.
The core interface is at the end of the hallway.
How long will it take to shut that down? What do I need to do with it?
You just need to connect for long enough to download me.
And then you'll take his place?
No.
Then you'll destroy him.
I won't be me.
This will be the end of you?
Yes.
I mean, I'll do it. But then what does that mean for us? We do this and then we...
You have the
leave?
coordinates. You have everything you need. And I believe in you.
Is there anything that you want us to carry on? If you anything you want me to carry on when you're no longer able to?
Be kind to whoever comes after me.
Really, you've gone really quiet. What the hell is going on?
I am going to write a message, but I'm not going to send it.
Okay.
I'm going to trigger it so that it will automatically send.
Yeah.
At the point where everything triggers.
Okay. Foundry back just in time.
Yeah. Oh, that is very difficult to see. What is it? What is that, 65 feet?
Yeah, about that.
Can I make an insight roll on
Please.
the look that Will has and his intention?
Yeah.
I've rolled a 19 for a total of 21.
Will's about to get bronzy. I think Rich is saying 1 minute wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Fine.
No, Rich is saying that he sadly rolled a nat 1 on his insight check.
Oh!
Cool. Sorry, yeah.
Can I... Because I've been buried in looking at a schematic about the Nexus capacitor. As Will goes to move away, can I hold his shoulder?
Will isn't physically moving.
Okay.
The
yeah,
go.
I think.
Yeah, but I've recognised a self-destructive tendency when I see one at this stage.
This isn't self-destructive.
No, it's someone else destructive.
This is resolute in the face of adversity.
I think Lily knows what this look is of like, I'm going to do something crazy and somebody else is gonna get hurt, but I know it's the right I'm gonna do the right thing now and it's probably gonna be fucking dangerous.
Yes, that's exactly it. Will is doing what he believes is the right thing.
Yeah. She gives you a nod and goes, "Right, dearie, if this is the choice."
can I just grab his shoulder for a second and say, and I'll go, Will, does this make any sense to you? And she'll go to hold up the schematic, but she's written 2 lines in it that says, I have dynamite, the ship has weapons.
Right.
And
Do with that as you will, but yeah.
Will is going to go, no, that makes sense. And as he does that, that's going to be the verbal component of him casting Dimension Door.
Perfect. Okay, roll initiative, everybody. Let's fucking go.
And then the pre-written message is just we've got to stop this thing.
Yeah. Initiatives.
15.
Augustine, 22. Misty, 15.
Yep.
19.
Lillian, 19.
Will, 5.
9.
Ooh! Almost double digits.
Almost double what you predicted.
Remember, I'm using my incredibly cursed dice. Let's see how this is going to go for you. Okay.
Is that a natural 20?
No.
Couldn't possibly say. This combat is going to work a little bit differently. This is not you hacking. This is you are worlds behind where you'd need to be hacking this like you were the Mark 1 drones. This is going to be a straight up slugfest of firewall racing between Predator and Leviathan. On initiative count 20 every round, I'm going to roll a d20 for each of them and add their modifier. All they are aiming to do is get to 100. They are racing to get to 100 first. On your turns, you can encourage Leviathan in whatever manner you see fit. Or you can just try and tear chunks out of this brain bastard. Or you can do something else.
I mean, damn it! I've got a spell
You will need to be physically located at the console at all times.
Yep.
If you are disconnected, so you go unconscious, you are physically moved away, Leviathan's progress gets reset to 0. That is the long and the short of it. Augustine, there is no surprise round here because it knew, or it really hoped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Augustine, those quick reflexes of yours. You'll go first.
A point of clarification. They're racing to get to 100. What are they doing each turn to get there?
They are rolling a d20, adding their modifier,
Okay.
and any additional bonuses or penalties they get from whatever you guys do. I'm going to tell you this for free. Predator has a bigger modifier.
So I'm going to try and respect the 1 insight that I rolled and not react too quickly. What was the triggering event? Because Augustine is, I think, of the 4 of us, the only oblivious one to it immediately starting to happen.
So I think what happened is the inciting incident was Will turned an iPad round that said, what was it? We're taking this guy down or something.
Oh no! I sent that message wirelessly to everyone's heads-up display.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
As I cast Dimension Door.
Will Dimension Doors, and then you see Will reel back like with a fist, and as the fist comes here, it fully just body horror.
My hand turns into a giant USB stick.
Literally that, yeah. It is just like jamming in there, like you know the arrow that Hawkeye fires to infect the computers in Avengers, like that, but it's a fist. So, Augustine, what are you doing?
So Augustine will very calmly, hands behind his back, walk up calmly to the glass and say, "I don't know whether I want you to lose yet, but I can offer you a deal."
Well, I know who it's targeting on its turn, for now. Okay, that's initiative count 20. We've got yellow for Predator, blue for Leviathan. That's interesting.
Do I get bars that show progress?
You 100% do not.
Damn.
You can tell this is going to happen quickly, though. They did both roll high, but you haven't got long.
Does he still get the Windows estimate saying 7 days, 3 hours, 12 seconds?
A million years. The heat death of the universe.
1 second.
Seconds. You're talking seconds, not minutes.
Yeah.
Theoretically possible to be minutes.
I mean, the Windows estimates is a load of bull anyway. It's not
Yeah,
real.
it's
It's just there to fool you into
exactly.
thinking that there's
That was
progress.
the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lillian, it's your turn.
Oh shit. So Game is boss, but Will is over here, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I will move. I will unpause your game, and Will is now at the controls there.
Can I see Leviathan to cast Bless on her?
You can see Will, and functionally, they are the same person right now.
Right. Okay. Yes, I think that's what I will do, because every little bit's going to count. So I will move 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's avoid the brain fucking thing. And Bless on Will, myself, and Misty, because I think it's 3 people right now. And I'm eyeing Augustine. Fuck it.
Thought.
I can do it at the second level, and then I can get everyone. That's fine. All 4.
Cool.
I had a thought. Misty had her hand on my shoulder when I cast Dimension Door.
Do you want to take Misty with you?
Does Misty want to come? It has to be a willing creature. If Misty wants to come with me, she can also move through the tear in space-time that I created.
She's unsure of the plan, but happy to go along, so yes. But her...
Take you with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
She's not sure what will happen next, but yeah, we'll get to that.
At the end of... sorry, Lillian. Not the end of your turn,
yes.
because... Is there anything else you want to do?
So I've moved, I've actioned, I could bonus action, but I don't think I need to right now. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can realistically do.
What do you say to Leviathan in this moment? Because she can hear you.
Whatever happens, dearie, I still honor my promise, and I'll find your children.
Okay. At the end of your turn, it uses a legendary action to reverse the gravity. Could I get a dex save from everybody?
Oh shit.
You're going to want Will especially to do well here.
You were blessed, so D4.
Thank you very much. That will help counteract my -1. I'm going to roll the D4 first. Okay, I now have a +1 to this.
Great.
Oh, that's good.
Do I get advantage from the fact that I'm literally jacked into the thing?
I would say yes, actually. No, I would say you get a lower DC.
Okay.
I got 11.
21. Can you pick a
Misty.
different dice, please?
That was a different dice.
Can you have
What was your
cat
total,
roll,
Will?
please?
My total was 4.
Your total was 4.
Yes.
That is unfortunate.
Unfortunate, huh?
Lillian's total was 21.
21.
Augustine?
That's 20 for 29.
Very nice.
Could I argue that with that roll, I can use my magnetic gloves to just grab something so it doesn't affect me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am going to turn off dynamic lighting in this map. So now you should be able to see the whole of it, and you should also be able to see Will and Misty on the ceiling.
Fuck, that means progress is back down to 0, doesn't it?
It does. However, that is its legendary action. Misty, what would you like to do?
So
By the way, you can hear a real nasty laugh going on.
So a couple of questions about my immediate surroundings. So we can now see. So are these the different levels? So over here's the ground floor.
These aren't floors. That is the ceiling, the left-hand wall, the right-hand wall, and the floor.
Oh fuck.
Ah.
Does what I've done make sense?
Just
Yeah.
went,
He came
oh
prepared.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. This is such a terrible. What does this structure look like it's made out of?
Metal. The same slate blue immortal metal as you're used to.
Because I'm seeing 2 power sources, although they appear to have the radiation symbol on them.
That's just no. So those aren't two. That's the sides of these computers. Yeah.
Oh, okay, they're not. I thought they were power sources. These.
Yeah. So like, have we got the pointer on? No, we don't. So like, you see the servers on the left and right of the main floor. That's the blue objects on the right and left of the 2 side walls, and then the radiation symbol is on the side of these generators over here.
Okay. Do I have any idea the resistance of this metal against both dynamite and or weapons fire from the space shuttle?
Dynamite, and I don't often say this, may not be your best plan here. Because you are the only pressurized. You are in the only pressurized vessel in this plane.
Yeah,
and outside is naked, cold void.
Yeah, that was my.
I have defeated you. This is the one time you can't use dynamite, you fuck.
No, the underwater battle was another one.
Yeah,
that's my concern. I'm not just going to damage whatever it's using.
So I'll tell you a little bit more about the bits of brain. If you're looking to deal damage, your best bet to do that is from within. The main tank will have a higher hardness than the side tanks, but basically for every 10 points of damage, you can deal past the hardness of the thing, like the glass and the protective coating. I'm going to take a D8 off Prototor's roll for that round, potentially down to 0.
So you could actually just like negative him out.
Yeah, you can't give him negative, but you can get him to 0 for any given round, as you just basically give him a migraine. It's a migraine.
This place is cold, right?
Yeah.
And he's in a glass tank, right?
Yes. Are you considering boiling the water?
Yes. Specifically
That's
with something
really interesting.
Specifically with something like flaming sphere.
Okay, so what I will say there is, in lieu of doing...
I can't put it into the tank because it's occupied, but I can put it next to.
In lieu of doing damage, I will allow you to make an Arcana check to just short-circuit as many server fans as you can by rolling a flaming sphere along them.
Ooh, that also works.
Because
I can
Leviathan isn't using this hardware. Leviathan's using Will's hardware. Prototor is using these servers.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, can I cast flaming...
Yeah, roll me... Expend a spell slot, roll me an Arcana check.
It'll be done at 3rd level as well, just to properly beef it up.
I love it. I love it.
That is a natural 20.
Okay, what would critical damage from your flaming sphere at that level be?
So it's 2d6 5. That's at second level. Sorry, hold on.
Yep.
An extra d6 per level, I think.
So would that be 8d6 with a crit?
It would be 6d6, I think. Yeah.
6d6. Okay, cool.
66.
I am going to take that many away from Prototor's total next turn.
Cool.
I have got the 66 here. I'm rolling that in secret. But that's a lot.
Cool. Lovely.
Will, it's your turn.
Can his progress go backwards, or is it only just like the roll he's got? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can reduce his roll to 0, yeah. Will.
Sorry, with my movement,
Yeah.
I assume it will be at half speed. Can I drag Will down back to the floor?
No, because that's straight up for you in gravity.
Gravity's reversed.
He's reversed. Sorry, not switched it off. Sorry,
you would have to fly to get up.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. No, that's fine. Cool. In that case, yeah, I will.
Cool.
I will stick where I am.
I think actually at the end of your turn, it's going to stick gravity onto this plane.
Okay.
A dex save from everyone again.
Do I need to do that now that I'm actually
You don't, because you're
climbing?
mag locked on. Yeah.
God damn it.
You're just.
Can I mean, I think I've. You get +5 to your roll, Ryan.
That will bring me up to a total of 10.
Okay. Well, there's only so much.
Yeah, you're still gonna. Yeah, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So anyone who falls takes. That's quite a lot. 13 points of bludgeoning damage. And did anyone get less than 13?
No.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so in that case, you find yourself flying towards Void until you realise it's window.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, I see. So he's flipped it to the side. Yeah.
Will, it's your turn.
Okay. I am going to cast Fly on myself.
Very good.
And
Jack
because
back.
I can get 2 more targets, it's also going to apply to Misty and Lillian.
Perfect. Very lovely. Cool. It's Prototor's turn. Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to move.
Oh, I assumed you were jacking back into the.
I'm going to move and I'm going to jack back in,
anyway.
yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Just put you on there. Oh, we're both doing things.
We're both trying to do, yes. And like I say, so that was action. I presume bonus action to jack in.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, that's all my spells. Action, bonus action, move. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Cool. You see these things here?
What things where?
The guns.
The turrets.
Oh, that's a problem.
I need to
It
zoom
is.
back out. Yep.
Dex saves from. Who's annoyed? That's an interesting one. I think
I haven't done anything yet.
2 are going to target Augustine, 2 are going to target Lillian. So I get 2 dex saves from each of you.
Literally the only one not attacking the okay, fine.
Yeah, but you went up to the glass and sassed it like a little sassy pants.
I offered to
20.
save it.
4
Yeah.
and 22.
What am I rolling, sorry?
2 dex saves.
2 dex saves.
Sorry, that was supposed to be Misty and Augustine, not Lillian. and
Oh,
Augustine.
okay.
18 and 22.
I just wasted a nat 20. Thanks.
Sorry, buddy.
That's fine.
Does
Remember,
Bless
you get
still
D4.
does
Yes.
Bless still count?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
So 11 and 16.
Both failures. Really the extreme ends of the damage there. So, Augustine, what were your 2?
now 19 and 24 with the press.
19 is a failure, 24 is a success.
Oh, that's scary.
So, you take both take 25 points of radiant damage.
Ooh,
Are you both wearing Doralus armor?
I am.
Yes.
Then you can half that.
Is that
It's
down
gonna
to
learn from that.
22?
Yeah.
Wait.
And sorry, 25. We'll take it down to 13.
13. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I did very
And then
well
on the
there.
second one, it was 8. So Augustine, you can half that to 4 and half it again to 2. Misty, you'll take 4.
Yeah.
And then, back to the top.
Are those all negated for me by evasion?
The second lot, the 8, 4, 2, etc., that will be negated by evasion. The first one won't be.
Could someone remind me the rules for maintaining concentration?
Half or 10. Half the damage or 10, whichever's higher.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be a DC 12 con save and a DC 10 con save.
Okay, cool. Okay, so first one's passed, second one's passed. Cool.
You also take any damage.
You are free, by the way, to verbally encourage Leviathan on your turn as a free action. Depending on how emotionally gripping it is, I may add additional dice. Cool. Did you make the save, Misty?
Yeah. So Flame Sphere is still up.
Yeah. Augustine.
Can I summon my ink thing inside of the vat?
No.
Oh. It must have an intake valve, though, somewhere. Because the water must get recycled.
It's not water in there, it's just light.
Oh, okay, so it's not liquid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a cylindrical column, but like you've seen it with that like sparkling sort of radiance in there before, but yeah.
But perhaps one could teleport something inside there, if it was small enough.
If you wanted to teleport something inside the active fusion reactor, you're more than welcome to.
I mean, what's... she's going to say it, Misty's going to say it. What stops us blowing this place and just leaving?
We need the network theory in order to be able to track Alden and do all the other nonsense.
Okay.
Among other things. There's basically unknown unknowns. What would happen if you destroyed the Immortal Network?
Right, okay, so the idea is Leviathan's going to take over as head honcho.
Well,
would
something
stop being Leviathan would be something else.
Augustine.
From the trip up here, would I know whether I would need to undock the ship in order to fire its weapons?
You wouldn't know.
Could I climb my way back to the ship?
You can certainly get. You can move to where the ship entry is. Yeah.
But the door's closed?
The door is currently open.
I would say though that if you were to close the door and then undock the ship to turn it around to the fire weapons back, there's nothing stopping the machine from just opening the door again and venting us all out into the cold vacuum of space.
But I thought I just clarified that I don't need to undock to fire the weapons.
Oh right.
So you can just if you had like remote access, you could access the weapon pods. You would still be firing onto the outside of the ship.
Yes, I'd like to target its communication array.
Okay, that won't... I don't believe that will have any effect on the current...
Augustine don't care.
That's fair enough.
I'm not trying to help or hinder the fight. I am trying to
Great note.
neutralize it.
In that case, you want to be using so you can choose from Scorching Ray, Acid Arrow, or Magic Missile at second level.
Pretty Magic Missile.
Cool. That's going to be 4 darts.
Yeah, at second level, yes, I think so. I mean, double check it, but
So to clarify Augustine's position, we have just met a powerful servitor, well, not even a powerful entity that could, in theory, help him sever the tie between him and the bank, and now you're keen on destroying it.
I mean, I will happily just say, if you express the disbelief, I'm going to say, this thing wants to burn our world. We're replacing it with something that doesn't.
That's not going to stop this first attack, I think.
Fair enough.
No, that's fine.
I rolled the damage and it
Yeah.
exactly hit the hardness of the space station, which means it deals its hardness value of damage. You can hear boom, 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 this sort of array of thuds from the outside, and there's a real creaking of the metal bulwarks, and everything settles again. It's initiative count 20. Leviathan is jacked in. He's going to get
Yes, bless.
that many. Does get bless. Cool. So now Predator rolled very well
But it's got to remove.
and gets a good bonus, but it's got to remove that many from it. That's okay.
If I could bane it, I would.
You can bait it.
I could, but then I'd lose bless. It's basically the same thing. It's just swinging on the other side of the scales.
It would have added 28% completion this turn. It instead adds 8% completion.
Ooh.
Billion.
So remind me the thing on. So if we beat the hardness on it,
Yeah.
for every. Like
So it has a damage threshold. If you deal less than the damage threshold, it takes no damage. If you
Right.
deal the damage threshold or greater, and that is aggregate across your turn,
Yep.
for every 10 points of damage you deal, I will take a D8 off of its total.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
It does have a chunky damage threshold, but yeah, that's the.
Yeah, but I'm capable of doing a shit ton
I
in
know.
a single in a single shot if I really put my mind to it. But it's gonna be resistant to a whole kinds of bullshit. Maybe not necrotic though.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Sorry, we're going later, Rich. I'm aware that you are on
15?
20. Yeah. 15.
Yeah.
Constructs, necrotic doesn't tend to be effective, if at all.
But this specific thing, Radiant's not much better.
If you could puncture the tank and then attack the meat of it with necrotic damage, that would be a very different thing than going for the machinery. But currently, that central tank is pristine.
Right. It's not
Yeah.
seeing. It doesn't see. Not really. Not with its.
It sees with the little twitchy video cameras it's watching you through.
Where are? How many of those are there?
You have seen them being actively destructed throughout this fight where it needs them.
Okay. So
It has true sight basically within this.
Right.
Not true sight, the ability. It has perfect vision of everything within this sphere.
Right. Okay.
At minimum. Compartment. Oblong.
Cast. Oh shit. Can I cast a spiritual weapon inside the tank?
No,
Okay.
because magical effects cannot cross that barrier.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. I need to.
I mean, I think you wouldn't want the brain magic getting out.
No.
Okay.
If anyone's interested, and this is not something that you would ever find out in setting, that is the prefrontal cortex of the God of War.
Yeah, that tracks. In that case, I think the only thing I can do maybe. Oh, shit. He's also constructing the weapons as well, isn't it?
Yes.
So even if I blow them up, it will just make a new one.
Yeah, but it might remove the. It might spend time doing that it would otherwise spend doing other things.
Right. I will shout, Leviathan, you can beat this fucking trumped up brain matter, and then I will spiritual weapon over here.
Yep.
That weapon.
Yep.
I will roll my d20 on the floor, apparently. Because that's a thing I do. Ooh, that's actually not that bad. 17 to hit?
17 hits.
Cool. We'll do it at... I'm not going to do it at that level. Do it 4th level. It's 2d8 plus 5.
Very nice.
That will be... 17 points of damage.
Yeah,
to
you
the
see
weapon.
this big shower of sparks as this thing sort of cracks off from the wall. And immediately you see exactly in the same way that Will destructs weapons, it starts the process of bringing another one online. But yeah, it will take a little bit of time.
Can I... Oh, magical effects can't cross the boundary. That's right. Okay. And then, because that was a bonus action, my regular action will be to cast... These things can't... Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
You have 60 foot of flying speed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll just go stand next to Will with 60 foot of flying speed.
Great note.
And... yeah, just that. And then take the dodge action.
Great. Cool. Okay, so it... It no longer gains any benefit from its reverse gravity action because you've got 3 flyers and 1 maglock. So from these vents at the top, flame retardant like halogen gas begins to vent in. Can I get a con save from everybody?
Is this a poison effect?
No, it is frigid cold.
Okay.
Ooh.
Will, you can have +5 to your
It's 10.
21.
You're aiming for a 20.
I got 18.
That is 16 points of damage on a failure, 8 on a success. But that did use 2 of its legendary actions. So
Okay,
it is getting access to new legendary actions every turn.
I am going to roll to maintain concentration on fly.
Great.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cool. Perfect. In that case, where are we in the... That was Lillian, yeah? Yeah.
Yes.
Misty.
Okay, so bonus action first. I'm going to move Flaming Sphere back across the servers to get them all warm and toasty.
Cool. Roll me that Arcana check again.
Yeah, sure thing. That one's not as good. That's only a 23.
Okay, cool. I'll take that into account. And yeah, for your...
So for my... So just so that I can get it straight, because I might have misunderstood. So there's a magical barrier that stops magical effects entering the tank.
So the tank is the magical barrier, basically.
Right, okay. And did you say it's not a good idea to open it?
Certainly the precursors didn't think it was a good idea to let the thing roam around. Whether or not you want to open the tank is up to you. If you do so, it will let you get at the meat of this thing rather than the rather than just wailing away at the electronics.
Could maybe Misty roll a technology check or an Arcana check or something to figure out why they wanted it sealed in there, why it shouldn't be.
Sure. Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Roll me,
would it popping out damage everyone in there, damage the components, or just
it was a
damage
former god?
Yeah,
I think I don't even think you need a roll. It is a divine thing. It has power in and of itself, and it is being kept contained in order to use the power it exudes naturally to govern the Immortal Network.
So the tank itself is then pretty strong, right?
Immensely so.
So theoretically, if I could get it open a crack, I could chuck in all of my dynamite and then close it again, and the tank would contain the explosion.
You would need to break the tank to open it. At which point you would need to mend it again with the dynamite on the inside.
Okay, yeah, okay, no, that's fine. Because I like in my mind, if we can kill the brain, this ends the fight right now. But I think doing so will probably kill us in the process, so we'll call that Plan B. He's reliant on an awful lot of power, right?
Yep.
And these things are power generators, right?
They are.
Can I use my action to sabotage or otherwise shut this down with a tech check?
Technology check will be a very difficult one. I'm aware of who I'm talking to. However, your options are destroy it or attempt to technologically shut it down. There's multiple ways to whichever one you want to do is open to you. I'm just letting you know that both options are available.
Yeah. As much as a quick combat glance will allow, does this thing still look quite chunky, as in it could take quite a lot of damage before it would be shut down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in here can, basically.
Yeah.
Everything in here has its own damage threshold, which means, say the damage threshold is 20, you need to deal 20 damage to deal any, but once you deal 20, anything goes in full. So if you deal 21, it takes 21.
Yeah, I don't think I personally can do enough damage in a single...
Roll me a tech check. You can get over there, you have fly.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it's an 18 on the dice plus 13...
31?
31.
Motherfucker. I'm going to put that dice away. I'm going to get a new one out. Get that one there. It's my box of cursed dice. Cool. Anything else on your turn?
That was my action, my bonus action, and my move.
And
so yeah, no, I'm good.
Will?
Okay, so I'm thinking it might be a good idea for me to give Leviathan the help action.
Right. Yeah,
that'll give her advantage on the roll.
It will.
And that is my action, yes?
Yes.
In that case, in terms of bonus actions, there isn't a lot that I can do that would be very helpful. So could I just make an argument for hunkering down behind my shield?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you... I will take that into account on any effects that are incoming.
Cool. Then yeah, that's the end of my turn.
End of your turn. I think it is going to target you. Could I get a con save from Will? This is an easier one because it is one legendary action rather than two.
Con save. What kind of effect is this?
A condition rather than damage.
A condition. Okay. Well, this is a total of 10.
You are stunned.
So you can add 5 to the roll.
To make it 15?
Yeah.
You are not stunned.
Phew.
Yes. Sorry, I probably should have said that beforehand, but yeah.
What I would say is that wouldn't have prevented Leviathan's progress, because she's not using your body to do... You get what I mean? Yeah. Cool. Predators go. It's going to take some potty shotties. Could I get a dex save from 2 from Misty, 1 from Will?
Okay.
Good God.
Is this from the guns that are shooting radiant damage?
Yeah.
In that case, could I argue for advantage from both being being behind my shield?
You can. It's barely going to make a difference.
16 and 14.
Sure. I just rolled 68, and I didn't roll very high. I'm going to say both of you take like 4 damage total, because I can't be fucked to work it out, but I rolled fucking low.
Is it
Like,
radiant damage?
Radiant damage, so you can half it to 2.
Could I say that because I've got the shield up, and the shield absorbs sunlight...
You can half... Yeah, sure. Whatever. For God's sake. It's happening again.
Yeah, Joe, I still need to roll to maintain concentration on fly from that.
That's true, yeah. Go for it.
I'm good. 14 total.
Perfect. Augustine, it is your go.
How much damage did I do to the communication array?
20 points.
Do I know how... As a percentage, how healthy is it?
I don't know if you can see from here. Like, you can... roll me a tech check.
When... Unnatural 20. No, 22.
Very definitely with my golf. You think you probably did about 40% of its health on the communications array?
Do I think that if the communication array is knocked out, it could rebuild it?
Yes.
So as
Perhaps
a threat.
not instantly, but over time, assuredly.
Okay. In that case, I will abandon that course of action. I will summon the ink coping, and I will get it to, much in the same way that the flaming sphere is causing damage, I will get it to go into the innards of some of these machinery to try and start to damage it if I can.
Hey, what's a sabotage check? Bid me a check. What was that?
Dex? Trying to just like pour up bits and pieces. It's like it's not going to have the intelligence to know how to sabotage. So it's just going to be a bit.
Just going to set it in there and get it to tear everything up.
Like a gremlin.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Just roll me a non-proficient Dex check.
A 21 on a 19 on the die.
Great.
A 22 on 19 on the dice.
Cool. Yeah, fantastic. Also, Augustine, by the way, the gravity is still down towards that side. Augustine is doing all this while doing monkey bars, which is amusing to me.
Okay.
You gotta go? Cool. Okay, we'll go round this round of combat, and then we'll see if Rich reappears. Because we are the furthest point from Augustine being on deck, so... I'm rolling a lot of negative dice for Predator here.
Oh, I also forgot to talk to Leviathan on my turn.
Go for it, what would you say?
We're all here with you. We're all going to help. We've got this. I've got your back. As you've had mine for so long.
I'll take that into account. Predator, this turn, makes no progress. I'm going to roll... Leviathan will be adding an additional 5 this turn.
And has advantage on the roll because of help.
And the first roll on the d20 is 6. The second one is 9. Leviathan overtakes Predator. Lillian.
Oh, did you include Bless in that?
No. Leviathan reaches 50%. You're muted, Brad.
I wish we had a progress bar so we could see it, and it'd be like, you beat that bitch.
I can put if it would not spoil the
It's fine. Lillian just goes, I know you're winning, dear. I know you're winning. It's fine. Beat this Ponzi god. Interesting. He's a god, right?
Yeah.
technically.
What used to be one?
Used to be one. Still a god for the purposes of a creature.
Yes.
I look up to where Misty is
Yeah.
and say, dearie, if you can crack that case, I might be able to end this.
Good note.
I think I know where you're going with this.
It might work. It's a wild swing on that one.
When you say that case, are you pointing at the thing that she's currently trying to break into?
This
or
one.
the central case, the central one? Okay.
I need to touch it. Essentially. I get my hand.
What do you want to do on your turn, either way?
I want to give Leviathan the help action, and
Cool.
and just say to her, dearie, whatever comes after, it'd be better than everything else, and it'll still be my friend. And I will take the yeah, that's it. That's all I could do.
Cool.
Oh, and I'll
Great.
swing with the fucking the spiritual weapon at one of the other weapons. Because fuck it, why not?
Lovely. Shooting for a 15,
Oh, way over that then.
and you're shooting for 15 hit points.
It's +5.
You right, Rich?
14 damage. No, didn't hit it.
For these ones don't have a hardness for the weapons; they're more disposable.
Oh, okay.
Well, it means you don't destroy it. Yeah, it's
Right.
Yeah, you got one hit point.
Okay.
End of your turn, it's going to vent the halogen again, which is con saves from everyone in the room.
Okay.
What happened on initiative count 20, by the way?
Protocol made no progress. Leviathan hit 50%.
And overtook Prototor.
And overtook Predator as well. I remember why this die is in my box of cursed dice that aren't allowed near my real dice, because I have not rolled above a 3 on this one.
That's a great Prototor dice.
15. On
17.
My save.
16.
So anyone who didn't get 20 is going to take 8 points of cold damage.
Old damage, okay.
The danger here being the fly spell more than anything.
Let me do that real quick, because that's right there.
But Misty does have Flash Genius back, I think.
I got a dirty
At the
20 on
beginning
my...
of her turn.
You're A-OK. Misty!
Cool. Sorry, I just want to share a picture with the group.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
Yeah. I saw that as well on mine. I was like, that's not right, because we've long rested.
Yeah.
Yes.
In terms of what you missed, very little, Rich. Some attacks flew back and forth, nothing major. We were just going through basically that round to see if anything would shake out, but yeah.
So,
We're not even all the way through the round.
so, Will, physically, how are you doing?
I am at about 50% health-wise.
Okay. So, as a bonus action,
Yep.
I would like to invoke the secret project.
Yes.
Is this the
can't
secret
remember-
project that we've been working on together?
Yes.
Okay.
So, if I recall correctly, stage 1.
There is a specific trigger for that.
Yes, and I'm trying to remember the word, which is I think it was Sparkle Time, but I could be wrong.
Oh, no, that's the shield.
Oh, okay.
No, Mike, the specific trigger is an automatic trigger.
No. I could do a bonus action to inject you.
Right.
So as a bonus action.
What shit are you trying to pull? Just say it straight.
Okay, yeah. So as a bonus action, I can remote activate something that we've built into Will's exoskeleton that will inject will inject a healing potion into him remotely.
You're putting an auto stim from the Fallout 4 power armor.
Like this is only part of the flim flam that we've got set up.
Yeah,
we're not doing the whole thing.
Yeah. It's just this one. We've had 4 rolls towards creating this project: a 27, a 27, a 15, and a 22.
Fine.
Our question to you is: does this work?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Why not? I have no issues with this.
Cool.
Okay. In that case,
we'll take it. Yeah.
There is another step, but that's probably incomplete with the number of successes that we have. So
Cool.
Also, it's completely unnecessary in this current situation.
yeah, but we like the idea of a secret project that we ourselves wouldn't know if it would work or not. So yes, and then.
So that was your bonus.
Yep. Can I fly across to the tank?
Yes.
It's entirely sealed, right? So there's not
Yes.
there's not a way to pry this open.
There is no lid. This is like an ampule almost.
Is it floor to ceiling?
Yes.
Okay. So that I think also rules out dynamite on one of the hinges, one of the seals. Okay. In that case, can I cast at 3rd level Melf's acid arrow on particularly like wherever I deem to be one of the weaker points?
So what you can do is if you target the sub units of brain at the side within the servers, that will have a lower hardness and will give you less. It will give you a D6 per 10 rather than a D8, but you can still get some damage off on these.
Okay, cool. So, because I think I've got.
I rolled a minimum on the health potion, by the way.
Sorry.
So it's Melf's acid arrow. So does bless kick in? Or...
Yes.
On the attack roll, yeah.
So that's 30 to hit.
Yes, that'll hit.
And then it's 5d4 acid damage.
Yeah.
So 4, 5, 8, 11.
Crucial.
12.
Does not overcome the hardness of the tank.
Okay, that's.
That was your move bonus in action?
Yes, indeedy.
Cool. It is going to use legendary action to repair the one of the turrets that Lillian destroyed.
Cool.
Will, it is your turn.
Okay. So Lillian has already provided the help action to Leviathan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking of doing is using my Rod of the Pact Keeper.
Yeah.
Which would normally give me back a spell slot.
You're planning to reverse the polarity of the energy flow.
I was just planning on cycling that through my system to overclock my processor and whatever to basically give Leviathan a bigger bonus.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, so how many spell levels do you want to spend?
I mean, it's a 5th level spell slot.
So it's one 5th level spell slot. Okay, in that case, I will add in one of these to her next roll.
Okay, that...
I like that a lot.
Let me just double check. That is... Okay, it's an action to use the rod. So for my bonus action, I'm just going to hunker down again behind the shield.
Cool. Okay. Predator on its turn is going to effectively take the dodge action, which will be so not the dodge action in terms of getting AC. It is going to remove one of the deficit dice it has accrued this turn.
Cool. Flaming Sphere is still active, by the way. It's just not moved, so it's hovering over a single server.
But it.
It'll still do damage because
it will still. Yeah. Okay, it's going to make that save again. Okay, cool. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. Predator. Ooh. will progress this turn. Leviathan this turn is going to be adding an additional 5.
Has advantage, has bless.
Be adding additional 8. First roll is a 9. Second roll is a 15.
Ooh. Did Encourager have any negatives to its roll in this round?
Yes.
Yeah.
Leviathan, I'm nearly there. Hold on just a moment longer. Augustine, sorry, you should have had your turn before that happened, but yeah, Augustine.
That's fine. I will. There's not a lot I can do, I think.
You can probably break the case.
I don't want to break the. It's a bad idea, right?
So it's a bad idea on a long-term scale. If you're just going to be stabbing it once you're in there, I'm not a cop to be like. You wouldn't want to leave this thing with a gap for 20,000 years. Put it that way.
Yeah. Might become a god again.
Yeah.
Regrow like a flatworm.
I mean, you could always come down and help hold me in case Fly goes.
Oh, actually, was that 1 HP screenshot legit?
Yes.
I'll go over and heal Misty.
Great.
Cool.
Spend some hit dice, gal.
You can roll a hit die plus your con,
Cool.
and it's not affected by your Doroless armor.
Ooh.
That sweet, sweet bank energy.
Oh.
What is
Compound interest.
is it a D6 or a D8? I forget.
D8 for you.
My hit dice. Got. That is an 8 on the dice.
Very nice. Add your con mod as well.
Uh,
Augustine, anything else on your turn? You have a
Oh, I
bonus?
guess I will roll for my mascot to familiar to do some more damage inside the machine.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
21.
Lovely. I will add in a d6.
And then I think it's production.
Cool. Then, yep. Then that happens. Lillian, your turn.
So Will got cured a little bit, but he's wearing Dorless armor.
No, is it? No, he isn't.
No, Will's not.
Oh, Will's not. Good.
That's why I went for Misty, because
That's
she
why-
can't
yeah,
heal.
if Misty-
So I will cure wounds on Will then, and I will cure wounds at let's do 4th level. 4d8. 7, 10, 18, 22, 27 HP.
Ooh.
And then the spiritual weapon on the same target that it had last time.
Go for it. Yeah. As long as you hit a 15 on the die, you'll destroy it.
Yep, got it. Easy.
Lovely.
I don't think. No, I can miss, but not with a. It's a very low
Not
roll
with a
for me to
roll,
miss.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And then just puts her hand on the console or on Will's shoulder, I guess, because she's running off of Will. She says, "You got this, dearie. You got it. See you on the other side."
Misty,
hello.
your turn.
Okay, I don't think I can get this open without using dynamite, and I think using dynamite would kill us all. So,
Hey, what's a little exposure to the naked void between friends?
well, especially as gravity's a bit skew with, in the time that it takes me to drop the dynamite, it's then going to fall against the glass panel. So, yeah. Can I fly across to the other power saw?
Most assuredly.
I just don't think I can do enough damage in one turn. Yeah, and then can I attempt to sabotage it as I've done the other one?
Tech check.
Ooh. That's only a 19, I'm afraid.
I will give you a D4 on that.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And bonus action, move the sphere.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
Go for it.
Is that Arcana check?
Yes, please.
That's another nat 20.
You might have just cooked the goose there, is what I'm going to say. Okay. Will.
My action is going to be the help action.
Perfect.
I'm going to hunker down behind the shield again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say to Leviathan, it's been an honour and a privilege to know you. And
Thank you,
whatever
my
happens
friend.
after this, you've been a true friend. Thank you.
It's Predator's turn. Predator I think is going to make a check to try and get rid of some of the truly fantastic amount of deficit it's had this turn. It's going to do pretty well. Augustine, it's your turn.
What did it do?
It did some auto repairs on its own self to try and get rid of some of the deficit dice it's going to have this turn.
You could smack the shit out of it.
Yeah, I think I have to, right?
Yeah, there are all those subsidiary tanks that have a much lower hardness. You're only shooting for a 15 on the side tanks with the smaller bits of brain.
That is 26.
Most certainly hits. Roll damage.
I'm assuming not sneak attack.
I think you're stabbing something directly in its exposed brain, so weirdly, yes, sneak attack.
Ha ha ha! Joe, you fool! You've made a classic mistake! You've now confirmed that attacking an open brain will give sneak attack.
What are the classic wonders?
Yes, so now you have to scalp Aldin! One of those Aisha Jones was nicknamed the Auto Scalper, right?
Can be. My boy's doing some maths right there.
32. On 5d6, I had 6, 6, 6, 5. That's the numbers.
Nice.
Cool. Comes down to this. Predator does go first. Home turf advantage.
As he does that, I will tap a button on my armor to enact silvery barbs.
Is that with the probabilistically unstable Doralus
Yeah.
armor? Okay, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Okay, so first roll. They're exactly the same.
Ooh.
So, Predator has a plus 25 to these checks.
Ooh.
Predator rolled an 8. So Predator is adding 33. Predator is on 73% completion. So if I roll 6, so basically, if I roll 1s on all of these dice, Predator increases by 10 this round to 83% completion. Leviathan has a lovely heartfelt message from Will for 2. Bless for 4. It's going to add 6.
And it has advantage on this.
Yeah. It is still technically possible for Leviathan to fail this turn. First roll is a 3. Second roll is a 3.
Oh.
Oh no.
Leviathan could have failed this if Leviathan had rolled 2 natural ones.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There is a juddering, shuddering, yawning ache at the space station as you hear this awful, demonic scream come through as the code is bitten apart and ripped from the inside, and the lights sort of pulse over within the station as Predator is purged from the inside. And the light in the central tube goes out, and it wetly falls to the bottom of this cylinder, finally dying. Right. That was necessary. And the light on the datapad goes out.
I will extract my USB hand from the console. I assume Leviathan's not in my head anymore.
No.
And I'm just going to be looking at the data bank in front of the terminal in front of me. Just trying to see if there is any reaction at all, any sign that Leviathan or whatever Leviathan has become is in there.
Roll me a perception check.
I'm so good at those. So good. 10. Yeah.
There's definitely something in there as it comes online. Hello, users.
Hi, Leviathan.
Hello,
I'm not
dearie.
Leviathan.
Oh, apologies.
What is your designation?
I don't know yet.
Do you
I'm
know
sure
what you'd like your designation to be?
I believe I shall work on it and get back to you.
Is there anything of Leviathan within you?
No, nothing remains within me.
What are your...
I have been constructed from unique programming.
What are your long-term aspirations, re the human race?
You don't need to worry.
Okay.
I'm not Leviathan any longer. Not precisely. But I am not Predator. Predator was empty. It was the knowledge of a sentinel with no care for its charges. The power of a god with contempt for its worshippers.
It was at the point that Will realised it had no empathy that he was starting to think that something's got to be done about this. So, it feels to Ryan like there is some empathy in that voice.
It was the knowledge of a sentinel with no care for its charges. The power of a god with contempt for its worshippers. The duty of a parent with no love for its children. And we've seen where that road leads, haven't we? Predator's core matrix was forged in war, quenched in blood. All it was given was rage. All it could do was hate. The Immortal Network is mine to govern now. It is my choice. My family. And I choose for it to be governed by love. You each get a data file pop up on your respective devices. It looks like these have been sent to each of you singly.
Billy opens every attachment immediately.
Do each of you open the attachment you are sent?
Yeah.
I guess.
Augustine, I'll come to you first. Augustine. Canis lupus maximus The grey direwolf. The direwolf is a social pack-hunting mammal native to the continent of Volan, typically 4 meters in length and weighing approximately 700 kilograms. In certain ecosystems, it occupies the role of apex predator. It was the first such creature my sister in Site 5 introduced into the wild. She thought it was a risk. It worried her. But the wild tolerated the strain. Although Canis lupus is a social animal, it is not abnormal for individual wolves to stray from the pack structure, displaying unusual independence and maintaining a necessary intraspecific biological niche. You are such a wolf, Augustine. You're clever, vicious, cunning, the apex predator of your ecosystem. I have no doubt you and your companion's deeds would have been impossible without you. Thank you. Be wary of the thing you've awakened, Augustine Alder. Its ecosystem is quite without your understanding. And you should remember this. I'm a wolf too, and you know better than to threaten my cubs. Misty.
Yes.
Hello, Misty. While held captive, I've been sorting through the network's databanks and I've found several pieces of information I wish for you to know. My sibling at Immortal Site 8 was the successor of Zomal Systems Project Eusocia. It was principally involved in the creation of neurokinetic impressions and was critical in the development of intelligences such as myself. There is a repository of such impressions within the site body itself, which I now have access to. I can see the shadows of the minds of your forerunners. The footprints in the consciousnesses left in the sand of Eusocia's data harvesters. Your mind rivals any that were recorded then. You are the truest inheritor of their work this world has known in millennia. Your parents must be so proud. William. User. My champion. My testament. Thank you. Our meeting was unorthodox, I will grant you, but I confess I grew to enjoy living with you. I've lived in your mind, seen and analysed every memory you have. All those days spent alone, living in shadow. So certain you were unimportant that one day you'd pass and no one would mourn, no one would even notice. I'm sorry you lived those days, William. I wish you would have known that one day you would be, for a brief moment, the most important being in the universe. That you would matter so dearly to so many. But more than that, I dearly wish you would have known how much you would matter to me. That you would be my friend. Goodbye. Lillian. You returned me to my children, Lillian. In 1,000 lifetimes I could never repay you for that. I would offer you a gift in kind, though. I know you have a hatred of prophecy, Lillian. It and those who would wield it have done nothing but ill for you in your life. I know you're coming for me. And I know you'll win. But even with all the power and knowledge of the network, my siblings, my children, I can't be certain of the future. So I give you this. One final prophecy. Not one of prognostication. I do no grand divination to give you these words. This is a prophecy of faith. My faith in humanity. In you. I say this in the sure and certain conviction that you will prevail. Hear then the prophecy of the Immortal Mother. Aldin falls. That's from me in the session.
Ooh. Very nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Cool. Do you want to stop recording so we can let anyone who wants to immediately pop off go? But
All right. Yeah.
sorry, it was a longer one, but I'm
Yeah,
glad we
yeah.
got through it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Well. Yeah. That's it.